Okay, here we go, The end of poverty. 7 was amazing. 1 through 7 was great. We finna go to 8 right now. We're gonna start off how we start them all off. Straight to the background of the artisticness. Flip. It's actually page 9. What is it looking like, man? What type of vibe you getting from the artisticness?
I see a computer in the back, man. Money is looking like money, a computer, so I don't know, man.
We about to have some type of digital transfers going on. Facts, Jack. That's what we talking about. It can be physical, digital. This is all about informal value transfer systems. That's the actual type of system that we're utilizing. The specific systems that we use, though, are spiritual informal value transfer systems we'll talk about later. But before we can understand the spiritual systems, let's just get a grasp of exactly what informal value transfer systems are here. We on the 8th episode of the end of poverty. Alex, and by the way, we just decided this first 1 through 8, we're gonna do that this day. This is the day 1. Tomorrow we're gonna do 8-1. That's the goal, and then the next day 8 more. We ain't run out of juice, but man, this is taking a lot of good energy. These topics are deep. So I was gonna tell them about informal value transfer systems.
Alrighty. Informal value transfer systems are methods of transferring money or value without relying on traditional banks or formal financial institutions. These systems have existed for centuries and were developed to help merchants, travelers, and families move funds safely across long distances. Before modern banking networks, informal value transfer systems provided a trusted way to settle debts and transfer wealth through networks of brokers and agents who relied on personal relationships and reputation and detailed record keeping rather than physically transporting cash. Throughout history, several forms of IVTSs emerged in different parts of the world. The Hawala system became widely used in the Middle East, South Asia, and East Africa, while similar systems such as Fei Chien, flying money in China, and Hundi in India facilitated domestic and international trade. These networks supported commerce along major trade routes, allowing merchants to avoid the risks of theft and loss associated with carrying large amounts of currency. Their speed, reliability, and low transaction costs contributed to their continued use, even after modern banking systems became available. Today, informal value transfer systems continue to serve many legitimate purposes. They are often used to send remittances to family members, particularly in regions where access to banks is limited or where banking services are expensive. In some communities, IVTSs provide a practical financial service that is faster, more affordable, and more culturally familiar than conventional money transfer methods. At the same time, governments recognize that these systems can be vulnerable to misuse if they operate without transparency or oversight. The legal treatment of IVTSs vary by country, but many governments require operators to register or obtain licenses as money transmitters or money services businesses. Financial regulations commonly require compliance with anti-money laundering (AML) and counter-terrorist financing (CTF) laws. These requirements may include verifying customer identities, maintaining transaction records, reporting suspicious activity, and cooperating with financial regulators. International organizations may also develop standards to help countries regulate value transfer systems while preserving access to legitimate financial services. To start an informal value transfer system in the U.S., an operator must first determine whether the business qualifies as a money transmitter or other type of money service business under federal and state law. If it does, the business generally must register with the U.S. Department of Treasury's Finance Crimes Enforcement Network, that's FinCEN, by filling FinCEN Form 107 within the required time frame. In addition to federal registration, most states require a separate money transmitter license before a business may legally operate, and operators must comply with the Bank Secrecy Act by implementing a written anti-money laundering program. Verifying customer identities were required, maintaining transaction records, and reporting certain transactions in suspicious activity. Because licensing and compliance requirements differ from state to state, anyone planning to establish a IVTS should consult the appropriate state financial regulator and qualified legal counsel before beginning operations.
Now, this is very interesting and important. What we really just learned here about these informal value transfer systems is that it is legal to operate unregulated value transfer systems that sound similar to banks, similar to financial institutions, but they're not those things. They have similar capabilities. You can transfer the money, similar capacity, yet we can run them. And that's what we're doing here. We're establishing unique type of informal value transfer systems so that we could leverage the value of love and transfer that value to get things done in our daily life, y'all. Now, what you feel like, Flip, when you hear that these things are real, lawful, so what we doing is all above grade? When you hear about these informal value transfer systems, it sounded like a bank, ain't it?
Facts. Most definitely.
What it make you feel like?
Man, we feel like that we really don't need a bank. You know what I'm saying? We gonna knock the banks off the market with these ones.
Now, I feel you. I'm gonna just say, yeah, you know, I'm not gonna say the goal is to knock the banks out the market. That's the real shit, though. That's a good feeling to have, just knowing, because you know I understand where you're coming from. Because when the banks only benefit the bankers, what good is banking? You know, like over-regulated, super-regulated. They discriminating and shit, holding people's money, doing all this shit, stealing. You know, so informal value transfer systems that allow us to transfer and exchange our actual community currencies. Now we got something going on here. Follow all the laws, keep transparency, follow all the rules, don't break nothing, get the proper registration in the systems as we need to, and everybody can run with this thing.
Yeah. And when you're dealing with love, you basically your own bank, because you got your own love to give.
Basically, it's more like a treasury. We don't use the term bank, even though a new Bank of Brahman got a lot to do with it. That's technically not a bank. It got the official okay to operate from Georgia. We're going to let people know about that. Nevertheless, you telling the truth. Yet it's important that we know these are the treasures of the Most High, spiritual assets. It's not a bank. We're going to learn what it is next. But right now, we can let you know we just went 8 for 8.